And
Welcome to the 50 Shades of Greatness Lounge.
still the Batman shirt. It's still the same night. We're just doing different segments. Don't think that we wear these every day of the week. Please. We are very fashionable and we have a closet full of tea. Okay, enough. So, two quick corrections. Japan is not the fifth largest economy in the world. It's third if you're just going by nations, fourth if you're going by US, China, European Union, and then Japan. So, that was a correction from the previous video. And the word corollary, I first pronounced it in the Welsh or British or Australian version of the word, which was corollary. Corollaries,
Yes.
and you said, "What did you say?" And I said,
I did say
I
that.
said corollary.
So what did you say?
And I realized where that comes from because one of my English professors was actually English and pronounced words in the English fashion, and that stuck with me. And so it was just a unconscious pronunciation of the word.
So are we saying this is an actual word?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Corollary. You can Google that shit and it'll come up. Corollary.
Very good.
Or corollary if in the US or Canada. So
excellent.
Couple of quick corrections because we like to be accurate on this show. We're a lot of things. We obviously look like a couple of idiots. We like to be accurate.
And looking like idiots.
Follow the science. Follow the science. Try to be accurate. We don't want to spread misinformation.
Right.
We're trying to spread the love of critical thinking.
Yes. So today I wanted to go on a little bit of I guess you would say rant. I don't like saying rant, but I guess it is a little bit of a rant, a little bit of commentary.
Okay, let's hear
it. Shall we say, in regards to parents and parents at the park and not reacting and working with their children. I am a 47-year-old man.
You look fantastic.
I'm past some primes and right in the midst of many others. I do have a young son who is just under 4. Now, this little guy is full of energy and fun and greatness, right?
He's a great kid.
Trevor and I have spent a lot of time with this little man, and he's a lot of fun. And the fact of the matter is that I like to take him to parks, to get him outside, to integrate with society and have a lot of fun, socialize him as much as humanly possible. Jordan Peterson says you must have your children socialized by the time they're 4, or they will be held to pay throughout the rest of their lives. So I want to make sure that that's the case.
Did you say held to pay?
Absolutely, because if you don't have them socialized by 4, then you're pretty much stamped a little bit of an antisocial situation.
Then they become serial killers.
They become social pariahs, yes. Anyway, so it's not about that right now, but what I'm talking about are the parents. My son and I go to parks all the time. And my statement of saying I'm a 47-year-old man, I have got certain amounts of energy. Probably less than what I had when I was a younger person. I'm probably an older father than most of a young child. And when we go, my son's favorite game is, Dad, you're the monster. You're the monster. Chase me, you're the monster. Well, this is a great game. This is fun. This is good. I like to be the monster and I like to chase him around and so on and so forth. And he and I interact a lot when we're at these parks. And I think that's a healthy thing to do. I think it helps the child experience a sense of play and, again, socialization. Now, what I am troubled about is to see many parents not doing such a thing. There's park benches, parents standing around doing nothing, just letting their kids go, often calling to their parents just standing on the sidelines. Many times my son has said, Dad, you're the monster, you're the monster. He'll then recruit other children saying, look, he's the monster. And they all want me to be the monster and chase them around. And well, that's a little bit inappropriate for me to chase other children around when their parents are there as well. Get in on the game, parents. Quit being such lazy asses. If you see me having fun with your child out there when I'm chasing my own son around, get in on it. I don't care if you're shy. I don't care. Get your head out of your ass and start playing with your kids. Okay, whatever little social situation you're going on, or your phone stuck to your face, put it down and go play with your kids. It drives me absolutely nuts, and it happens all the time.
Okay.
What do you think?
Well, I don't really have much of a perspective on this because I don't have any kids.
Okay, but listen, you're Uncle Trev to my boy, and what do? You come out and we interact. We taught him how to snowboard. We taught him how to longboard a little bit. What else have we done with him?
We're just hanging around, bike riding.
Bike riding, all the time, sledding during the winter.
Yeah.
All of these things, getting them out. You understand. You're not a father, but you understand the impact and what you need to do with a young child. And if as a parent, that's your responsibility. That's your responsibility to really relate to your child and interact back and forth in senses of play. That is my thought. There's a lot of teaching that goes and that is involved when you are playing with your child and getting them socially aware. So then they can see me interacting with other people, see me interacting with parents at the park, see me interacting with possibly other children at the park. If that's so required, all of the other parents should be playing with their kids as well. Too many times it's just me trying to be the must. And I'm an old guy.
I don't think you're old.
Well, I'm older.
We're going to have to do a segment on aging. Aging. But okay, so back to what you were saying. The closest analogy I can come across to personally is I've owned dogs in my life.
Yes.
And so obviously a dog is not a child. I don't want anybody saying, what kind of analogy is that? I'm just saying the closest that I can come to is raising a dog. And if I could take my dog to the park, or when I had a dog, when I took it to the park, I would interact with it. And if I never interacted with my dog, it would probably be to the dog's detriment. And so let's multiply that tenfold, 100-fold, 1,000-fold when applying that same analogy to a child who's got infinitely more mental and emotional resources than a dog would.
Yes. Yeah.
So if you're not interacting with your child and you're not taking that time out of your day as your child's parent to foster that sort of interaction,
right,
then clearly your child's going to suffer significantly from that lack of interaction.
Well, and I wonder, so I can't take credit for the fact that that's what I do. This was modeled by my father. I'm telling you. So it might be a generational thing. It very well could be. So obviously we didn't have the internet or cell phones and so forth when I was a child. My dad would come up as a social worker, long days work, so on and so forth. There's 4 of us as kids. And he would come through the door. We'd literally jump out at him on the door. And no matter if it's rain, shine, snow, he would immediately go out with us and play with us right away. He'd take us out. It doesn't matter what kind of a day he had. And he would make sure that he played with us, which is a fantastic example of what's gone on. Now, obviously, being 47, I think the internet and cell phones and so forth came into play once I got into college. So 19, 20, what have you. That's when really that started coming into resurgence. Now, we didn't have anything really too crazy until, say, 2000. Really, well, that's interactive. So I think that
first iPhone was 2004.
There you go. So I mean, social media and phones and so forth that have really taken the attention of parents, I think, is really a pariah upon the ability to parent and to interact with your children. And so I don't necessarily blame these parents, but you really got to take a look at what's going on and see that you're not physically interacting back and forth with your child. And I think that's probably a big part of that. And whether that's made people a bit more refrained generally, socially, or whether they're literally looking at their phone, we gotta get at this and pull people out of their own ass and get them to be playing with their kids.
It sounds like you're blaming the parents, and I think you have a point. Look, if you're smart enough to be a parent and raise a kid, then you should have at least enough self-awareness that you need to interact with that kid. And, maybe you don't want to, the only thing that I would say as a rebuttal to what you were saying is that if we try to cut people some slack, maybe that parent's just having a bad day, and maybe they interact with their child more. Now, if you see the same parent doing the same thing all the time, then obviously you have more of a stronger case. You have a stronger case to make. But maybe it's just that person's having a bad day, and they're just need to get out of the house and let their kid run around and have take a breather. So, I mean, because I don't go to playgrounds because I don't have a kid, right? So yeah. I wouldn't be able to. Well,
my rebuttal to your rebuttal would be this. Okay, is that if I am out and I am sitting there watching my child and I see that another parent starts to entertain my child, starts to run around and play these games, am I going to stand there? Or am I going to
I'm just saying maybe it's just the one day that the person
happens way too often. It happens all the time. And that's why I'm talking about it here.
Okay.
If it was one time, one off, I wouldn't be talking about it. But this happens all the time. And it happens with parents who are most definitely younger than me. So I know that they have the energy to go out and do what needs to be done. So whether it's
maybe they're not as healthy as you. Maybe they don't have the energy you do. I'm just
I see. Yeah.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
It wouldn't appear so. It wouldn't appear so. It
Yeah.
wouldn't appear so. So I know I'm coming pretty hard at this. I know but I think it's a very important topic to take a look at, to think about, and to because I don't think it's taken very seriously in many aspects. And I think that's a huge development piece for kids. And if you're at a park and your kid is saying, daddy, 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 or mama, 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 and you're not responding back within those first 4 mamas or dadas, man, you got to take a look at yourself.
Hey, man. It's a parent's world right now, and I'm just living in it.
All right, fair enough.
I
just wanted to throw it out there and tell you my thoughts on that. Something that's been bugging me for a while. And so get out there. I think that kids are a source of absolute love, and you need to take that with a huge responsibility to make sure that you're working with the proper amount of energy to give back to that love. So
that's not a nice thing to say. I was going to give us kind of a weird response to it. I'm not going to do that because that was too nice of a wording. I don't want to ruin it with my.
Don't.
Okay.
Uncle Trev here, though. This man knows how to play with the kids. We have a good time.
That's not the best phrase.
Well, no.
Okay, enough.
Yeah.
All right. So do we have anything else to add on stuff? This is an important topic, and I'm glad you brought it up because kids need to have the proper socialization.
Love to hear what people think about it. I would like to hear what people think about it. Do you think parents are interacting with kids to the amount that is needed these days? Do you think that electronics and smartphones are taking over a lot of that interaction with the kids and the parents and creating a block between the two? What do you think? Get out to the parks. In my thought, get out to the parks, interact with the actual world, eye to eye, face to face.
Oh, I do have a thing to add to this. I have a little piece, a little thought piece, a little think piece,
excellent,
a little morsel for thought.
By all means, share.
I don't particularly like kids in general. I think they smell. I think they're not intelligent. Most kids kind of bug me. Like your kid.
Thank you.
He's a good guy.
He's a good
guy. And I have some other friends that have kids that are pretty great kids. And I get along with kids really well. So even though I don't feel the need to particularly like a kid just because they're a kid.
Okay.
That's maybe how I should phrase it. It's not like I go around hating kids.
Right.
But I don't feel a particular need to like somebody just because you're a kid. You can still be an asshole. However, I like talking to kids like they're little adults. And I think that's why they get along with me so well. I never baby talk them. I just say, oh, hey man, what do you think about this? And kids seem to respond really well to that.
Well, that's the key. Okay, so here's the key of this Peterson situation. Says that there's a couple of things that kids need to learn to do before they're 4, so they're properly socialized.
Okay.
They need to know how to share, so then other kids will like playing with them, because if no kid likes to play with another kid that doesn't like sharing.
Seems reasonable.
And B, you have to be polite to parents, polite to older people, because if you don't say please and thank you, or then the parents aren't going to invite you back or want you around them or their children. So those are the 2 things that you have to attain by the age of 4.
Cool.
Okay, so then thus, like you said, you won't like a little shit kid who's barking at you as an adult. Show some respect, say please and thank you, and share with other kids, and you're going to be some lovely socialized child who's going to do very well in your ongoing years of development.
SATs, ACTs, LSATs, GMATs,
all of it,
GREs, all that good stuff.
Crush it.
Ace those standardized tests. Whatever. Okay. All right. That was good, man. So if you're a parent and if you're a kid, just keep your stick on the ice.
And your balls in the air.
Well, yeah,
Whatever.
that's inappropriate for kids.
Whatever.
We'll just whatever. You know what we mean. And
Bye-bye.
peace out. We love you.